Alright, everybody. For those of you guys who haven't been following the world of gaming, there's been a bit of a more recent controversy that the right-wing grifter sphere has blown out of proportion, and that is the inclusion of a historically real person in a new Assassin's Creed game. Now, funnily enough, maybe 6 months, that recently, before the Assassin's Creed Shadows game was announced, I learned of the character Yasuke, or the person, the real-life historical figure Yasuke. I saw like a thumbnail of a video titled something like the first foreign samurai, and then like the thumbnail said the first black samurai, because both those things are true statements for Yasuke. And I clicked on the video and I was like, holy shit! I was like, I googled it to see if it was real, and I was like, god damn, okay. I think the video had like that one statue of Yasuke in that one museum, the really cool one where he's in the armor and everything, as the thumbnail. That image of him. And so I had like a very brief, like maybe 3-day long, like hyper interest in Yasuke for a little while. And so I learned a decent amount of cursory information about the guy and his life and his history and all that. And I remember distinctly thinking, man, he would make such a good Assassin's Creed protagonist. God. But you know, I bet right-wing chuds would get really mad about it though. But maybe not, because he did actually exist. I kid you not, I had those thoughts maybe as soon as 6 months before the game was announced. Now, sure enough, the grifters like Grums, who have based many of their like grifting culture war topics on literally photoshopped fake things. Like a good example is the I forgot about this. But you are winning. Our petition, he's talking to gamers. You are winning. Our petition to save Stellar Blade has hit 50k. Grum's shadow ban has been overturned. Hitman, because he believed a hitman was after him, Hitman deleted all of his social media accounts after trying to have me killed. 1 million follower account mocking gamers goes protected. Hashtag free Stellar Blade and get @X and @support to unshadow ban the tag. He's doing the cat turd method of, like, every post going viral, continuously saying, this is not getting as many impressions as it should. @Elon Musk, why am I shadow banned? And then Elon Musk replies every time, looking into it. It's just fucking insane. Alright. Anyway, we got another mini grifter, a baby grifter, if you will, that has entered the scene. One who seems to live in Japan, but is not Japanese, of course. He is a white guy who's made a video called Interviewing Japanese People About Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, if you're wondering what this guy's content is like, it's about as bad as you would expect. You've got, obviously, the video in question, but then you've got this one where he's reacting to the state of play that happened like a week ago or something. And, he's seemed to have used a photoshopped image of a character who is a 19-year-old girl that is a sexual assault victim, and I don't know what game she's from, but they're mad that a woman in a game is not fuckable enough for them, even if that woman is a barely legal rape victim. That is what they are into, of course, but not if they don't find said woman fuckable enough. It's just, yeah, it's... Yeah. That's the kind of dude we're dealing with here, if you couldn't already tell just from looking at him. Sorry, we don't body shame here, but I mean, come on, guys. Like, come on. Look at this dude. I mean, come on. Let's watch.
What's up, guys? I'm Brutus, and I came to Akihabara to ask Japanese people what they think. What are their thoughts about the...
Oh, wait, no, he's not white. Oh, shit. Oh my god, white race savior 1488. You're browner than expected.
latest Assassin's Creed trailer. Ubisoft had just released the trailer last week, and I've seen many people over the internet sharing their opinions. I think that in this case, Japanese opinion matters a lot. Don't you guys think? So I brought my friend Sean with me. Say hello to them, Sean.
Wait, is this the guy behind the Sweet Baby Ink Detected, like, Steam account? Like, Steam page, where they were just falsely labeling any game they thought was woke as Sweet Baby Ink Detected, and they were saying you should review bomb and boycott it? I think apparently this was him.
Yeah, he's a dear follower who quickly became a friend of mine here in Japan. And
So this guy needs to stop biting his lip. I don't know what happened here. Maybe he needs to use like chapstick because like his lips split or something. They're very dry, clearly. Jesus. Yeah, that is indeed a King Ghidorah Meowth, it seems. That is what is behind him, and I have to admit that goes pretty hard. King Ghidorah Meowth goes pretty crazy.
he's gonna help me with the interviews and translating what people say. Okay, so let's get to it.
Dude, one day me, Ethan, and like our friend group on Discord are gonna do a trip to fucking Japan. It's gonna be like Smiling Friends Go to Brazil, but we're gonna try not to fuck it up. And I'm gonna have a good camera by then from the Quail content. I'm gonna vlog that shit. And it's gonna be interesting. Some wild fucking culture shock. I've never left the country before. The closest I've been is I've seen Canada across water. So that's neat. That'll be exciting. Of course, I have to be able to afford that, which is why I want to thank those that donate. Thank you so much. And those who hit the like button, because you're also helping me make more money from this, because like that actually does, in a sort of trickle-down way, support me financially. So I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Japan is neat. Like, I do want to visit Japan. It's a very neat place. It's so different from America, just, like, at every place you look, that it's, like, you want to go there. Like, I want to go to as many parts of the world as possible in my lifetime. That is absolutely the case. Like, it is objectively true that your life feels longer in retrospect the more different memories you fill it with, right? Like, the more differing... Like, you ever go on, like, a really crazy vacation? Like, you ever have a week of work and it's just like, man, that week was just, it went by in a flash in your memory. Like, you don't have any, like, it slogged by, like, when it was happening, sure, but, like, your memory of it is, like, nothing. Like, it's a blank nothing of a week of your life gone. Well, if you imagine, like, you had a really crazy vacation to a foreign place, like, across the country for me, 1 week or even a few days in memory feels like a month of what my like routine slog does in my memory. So my goal is to eventually just do as much travel as I can, ideally to be able to make content where you guys get to see it as well, because that's what's going to make my life feel longer. You know, and the human life is surprisingly short. I'd like for it to feel as well lived and long as possible. So I'll respect the guy for traveling. You know, that is actually a self-improving thing, as long as he's not doing it because he wants to like escape the woke and find like a 14-year-old. Hold on, what's that one god-awful image, guys? I hate to inform you, this meme was not made ironically. This meme was in no way made ironically. The person who made this is a lolicon, and the people, like, have since, like, started using this girl and this guy as, like, they've redrawn them and made, like, a bunch of, like, quote-unquote wholesome horny posts about them dating, like, the lolicon pedophile community online. They become sort of like, the next, Lele, Andy and Lele or whatever. That one game with the incest murder or whatever. They become like the new mascots for pedophiles online to sort of LARP as if this is what they look like, you know? This is how they see themselves, guys. I need you to know, like, the pedophile lolicons you see online, they see themselves this way, or at the very least, they would cope and have you believe they see themselves this way. Anyway. Back to it. As long as he's not going there to do that, then I think we're good. As long as that's not what he's going to Japan to do, then I think this is a pretty, you know, this is a good thing. I'll give him a pat on the back for that. You know, he's getting some worldly experience.
So ask them if I can interview them one per time, because I would like to interview.
So he's gonna ask people on the street whether or not they have a problem with Yasuke, in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, I don't know a lot of people that are like actively from or in Japan, to be fair. However, I do know one person. I've got a friend in my friend Discord that is currently living in Japan and has a roommate that's just a Japanese guy, just like who plays a lot of League, by the way. So we're in VC and we're like watching a show, and all of a sudden you just hear like what sounds like a character in an anime like angrily screaming before powering up for like the final battle, but it's just his roommate behind him like raging at League. And I don't understand a word of it, but it's hilarious every single time when we just hear his roommate like screaming in Japanese at League of Legends. It's really funny. But I've asked that roommate, what are his thoughts on Assassin's Creed Shadows? And he said, "Oh, looks cool. I'm excited." Absolutely no weird culture war. Like, he didn't get it when I asked him, like, what about the, like, do you consider it woke? He asked me what woke meant, and I was like, oh. Man, it really is that much of a grift.
Then to ask for their answers separately.
一応そのインタビュー、質問は一人ずつでもよろしいですか？
Oh, he's got a
ちょっと
translator. Who's holding the camera.
はい。じゃあお先によろしいですか？じゃあお先にちょっとこちらトレーラーの方をちょっと1分ぐらいほど見てもらって、その後にちょっと日本をこの表し方表現はその適切だと思うか、ちょっと意見をくださればとお願いします。
What did you say?
Just show them the video.
Okay, sure. So
I like how, like, from the get-go, by the way, we're already poisoning the well, because the point of Assassin's Creed has never been to accurately depict insert setting one-to-one, right? It's always meant to be a relative facsimile of a setting that really, like, accurately captures the vibe of it, right? And Assassin's Creed is, by definition, like the category it falls into, is historical fiction. The idea is that you take a facsimile of a historical setting, and you use real historical events as references to make people soy and point and feel like they're smart for knowing history. But for the most part, you write a story that is relatively plausible within that setting inside of it. Not necessarily accurate to the setting, but plausible. Basically, you're writing fan fiction for real life. So the idea that there are inaccuracies is not an argument against anything. I saw a really funny tweet today. There's a new Star Wars show called The Acolyte. It's apparently getting rave reviews, like really good reviews from people that are watching it, but it's getting review bombed, and the Chuds are pushing against it hard because it does have so much like wokeness in it, I guess. And the like big nitpick complaint, because they can't seem racist, is that the show depicts fire in space relatively often. And so the tweet that I saw was like, man, I never realized how much Star Wars has always depicted fire in space, going back to the original trilogy, until the Chud started complaining about it being woke. And it's just a bunch of screenshots of fiery explosions in space from the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. And it's just like, yeah, no, they're really just grasping at straws. And it really relies on, like, people who kind of think they're fans of Star Wars, but probably haven't watched one of the classic Star Wars movies in, like, 8 or 10 years. They're just kind of going off of memory and being like, yeah, I kind of like Star Wars. I was mad at the new movies because I didn't like them. I'm going to watch these guys talk about the culture war.
Here's the trailer of the game. Make sure you can
Yeah, Star Wars literally has space whales that live in cloud nebulas. Yeah.
hold it. Okay.
一応こんな感じですっていうことです。
The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all come from the same river. Greed.
God, this trailer looks cool. I'm so hyped.
Power. Vengeance.
I love how this is just like Chud's getting mad at this is literally, hold on. This is what the Chuds are like on this with this trailer and most things, honestly, like Rings of Power. Thinking cap. This fucking sucks, actually. How many things can you think of that have gotten this treatment from the right? How many things can you think of that are literally this? I can think of many. Literally the Chuds with this trailer.
And you... will you continue down that river? Or choose another path beyond what we see?
And we must look for it. Together.
I bet they're gonna fight at the end of the game.
We must learn to trust. Rebuild.
And follow the blade.
So, do you think that the trailer that you just watched is actually a good representation, a good and accurate representation of Japanese people, history and culture?
Remember, guys, like we're already setting like the standard that no one said Assassin's Creed was supposed to be. These people have liked to push a lot of falsities and rumors, for example. I'm sure if I don't acknowledge it now, or even if I do, I'll get it in the comments section. Claims like Ubisoft back in the day removed the crossbow from AC1 because it was historically inaccurate. That's literally a fucking lie. And it's a lie that goes back to, like, Assassin's Creed 4, maybe 3, if I'm honest. Like when people were saying it online. AC1, the time period it takes place in, did, in fact, have crossbows, for one. They did have crossbows then, so wrong. And then 2, that is not why they removed it. The real reason they removed it, as per Ubisoft devs have said constantly, like, over the course of, like, over a decade now, is that QA testers used the crossbow and found it to be insanely overpowered. It essentially negated any need to do melee combat, which is the main, like, difficult bread and butter of the game, including stealth. Like, no one did stealth, no one did melee. It just, like, everyone basically went stealth archer, you know? And so they removed the crossbow because it was just a bad gameplay choice. It couldn't be balanced well because the range just didn't work well with, like, the AI at the time. They eventually got around this, and that's why we've got ranged in more modern Assassin's Creed games. But back then, they couldn't quite figure it out, and that's why it was removed. But instead, this narrative was made up a long time ago, by people who just wanted to shit on more recent Assassin's Creed games. That, like, AC1 was so accurate that they removed the crossbow because it wasn't real. But, like, it's just completely made up claim.
今のトレーラーを見て、日本の文化や歴史の適切な表現だと、まあちょっと、はい、表すには適切だと思いますか？どう思いますか？
まあそこまで日本の文化にすごく詳しいというわけではないんですけれども、特にそんなに違和感はなかった。
I love that. The first person they ask is just like, I'm not super detailed on Japanese culture, but I didn't think there was anything strange about it.
と思います。はい。
はい。なるほどです。
はい。
Good?
Good.
以上、no more question.
I love that I assume this is a guy. I can't tell. I'm assuming gender here. I love that the guy that they found is wearing a purse. Did anyone else notice that? Like, a student's here to argue, like, against the woke video game, I guess. And he's, like, literally talking to who I assume is a guy who's wearing a purse with a pink or purple strap and what seems to be a little keychain with, like, a little dog or a little cat on it. And it's a purse. I think that's a little funny.
以上です。
Sorry.
一応メインの方です。
So what did you say?
He's not very specific,
Not that,
but
I don't think it's funny that this person's wearing a purse. I think it's funny that these people think that, like, Japan is their haven to get, like, escaping the woke, And the first person he spoke to was a guy wearing a purse. I think that's the hysterical part.
He doesn't say there's too much strange going on.
Too much strange going on. Okay, so what do you think about the characters that were depicted in the trailer? Do you think that they?
I love how he is trying so hard not to just outright say, how do you feel about there being a black samurai? One of those black people in the trailer in Japan. You know, he's trying not to just outright say that. He's like, well, what do you feel about, how about the samurais? How did you think they were depicted? No, the two main characters, what do you think of the two main characters? Any opinion on them? What about the male main character? Any thoughts or opinions on him? Maybe anything? You know, he's just going to keep on trying to get this guy to, say something bad about Yasuke, and he's just not... this person might not even know who Yasuke is by the sound of saying, I'm not really read up on Japanese culture. In the same way that, an American isn't super read up on, U.S. history, right? You show them, the Assassin's Creed 3 trailer, and it's looks about right to me,
fit well the
Actually, no. The Assassin's Creed 3 trailer is fucking insane. Wait, this is 2012, I believe, Assassin's Creed 3 came out, if not 2013. So, let me show you guys the AC3 trailer so you guys can just get a little bit of an idea of how ridiculous claims of, historical inaccuracy or not accurately depicting America are. Or even just being mad about it being woke. This is fucking crazy, dude.
Peggy 18.
I always accidentally hit my right click. It's this mouse. Not used to it yet. Just watch this trailer. It goes hard as fuck, by the way. This is before the culture war shit, so people didn't get mad about how just objectively, dude. Goes so hard. But could you really though? Could you imagine if they released this today? Actually though, what would happen? How mad the chuds would be? Only the fact that this came out 12 years ago. That's the only thing that makes this safe. The only thing. God. I love how people are still in the comments, they do the copium about it, right? Back in the days when Ubisoft actually made good Assassin's Creed games, this is what the new Assassin's Creeds are lacking. Wait, what? You haven't even seen the new Assassin's Creed, and I get it if you're mad at the new ones that have released, but I assume they're referring to the new game that hasn't come out yet. So it's there's sort of a justification for why Alien and Terminator 2 and things like that aren't woke, because they came out before the culture war, and the culture war in their mind is when wokeness started, right? So they're exempt because they were sincerely made, progressively, I guess.
The Japanese people future history points?
トレーラーで、登場したキャラクターは日本の文化に、すいません日本の文化を表す感じとか、登場してやっぱ変なのか、大丈夫、別に問題はないかなって
ああ、なるほど。でも、なんだろうな、難しい。そんなに違和感があったわけではないですけど、やっぱちょっと海外チックな感じと日本の感じが。
You can edit these out of your video, right? You're making the video. We won't know if you just completely cut this person's reaction out of the video. Okay. Good. Do we even need to watch more? He's already debunked his argument. The wokeness is in Japan. Why would you upload such a cell phone? I mean, this is a pretty small Chud channel, to be fair, He doesn't get yet that you literally have to purge every last drop of honesty out of your, content in order to succeed in this grift, right? You have to, wring it out like a wet washcloth until it is dry, and then set it out in the sun for a while until it's, falling apart. You know, you gotta get rid of every last bit of integrity you have, like every last bit of integrity. You gotta get rid of it. You gotta get rid of it. You will not get by in this space if you are willing to show that, in fact, the claims so popularly purported by right-wing demagogues are not true. Your stuff's not going to catch on in the space. You got to cut this stuff out, and you got to like make content like a dishonest grifter. This guy might still think he's somewhat like in the right, like he's somewhat real, like not just grifting and making shit up. Like he might actually believe some of this stuff, and he hasn't yet figured out that to succeed in this space, you have to completely get rid of the honesty, because no one's watching you for an honest take when you make this type of content.
まあ組み合わせていい感じに見えたかなと思います。
はい、なるほどです。わかりました。はい、ありがとうございます。はい。
Don't show the face and not ask names.
I love how they immediately cut it off when the guy says, yeah, no, I thought it was really good. I like how they mix like different cultural things together. I thought that was neat. I thought it looked really cool. God, what a cell phone. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Listen, like I said, these Chud channels, a lot of them, there's like a massive, like you look under every rock on YouTube and you're going to find some like little critter of a small Chud channel trying to get into this space. And ironically, a fair few of them seem to be run by people who've like watched a lot of Chud content themselves, and they've really bought into it, right? Like they're a bit of a true believer, if you will. And what's kind of sad about that to me, I guess, is that from my perspective, I suppose, it's like those people are uploading this content, and while they're certainly being dishonest or falling for a dishonest person's like kind of grift, they truly are willing to hold on to a shred of integrity, and they're suffering for that, right? Like they get punished by YouTube and that space, that side of politics for that integrity, and they eventually learn the lesson that they have to either drop all of the integrity they have or not be a conservative anymore, or just continue to be a conservative making the content they do and not see any success. It's really the experience that I think Hunter Avallone faced like years ago when he was a conservative content creator, and he just kind of realized that like he's honest, you know, like he doesn't want, like, he realized conservatism is wrong. He lost like a pretty solidly a debate to Vosh, and multiple times I think actually, and it caused him to rethink like a lot of his opinions. He'd already rethought a lot of his life opinions before, like years before. He used to be like a pretty true believer Christian, Hunter Avallone was, and like after I think a debate with Second Clancy, a name that very few of you, if any, will know. But he was goated. He was goated as fuck. I think he does creepypasta content still, by the way, as Clancy Pasta. And they had a debate about religion, or several debates about religion, and eventually Hunter Avallone became like agnostic, if not a full-on atheist. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Like it's definitely possible for people to realize that like, oh wait, to like actually get along in this space, for people to like hear what I have to say, and to be taken seriously as a conservative, I have to like grift? Really? And not only that, but like, and once you make that realization, it's pretty easy to realize that the opinions you already hold and think are honestly good opinions, and genuinely believe, you start to realize they're bullshit too, and that just hopefully naturally leads to a movement toward more left. And some content creators have had that revelation, thankfully. Sadly, not as many as I would like. But hey, if you enjoyed what I had to say here and you agreed with it, or even if you didn't, please consider dropping a like. It really helps the channel a lot. I mean, it really does. It's totally free. And it pushes my content out in the algorithm to far more people, so I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon so YouTube tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And comment down below for an extra boost in the algorithm for my content. I really do appreciate it. Follow my social medias linked down below, and join my fan Discord, which is the main hub of my fan base. I always do watch parties, call-in streams, and game events at least once a week in there, so it's definitely worth joining. And I announce all my streams and uploads too, so you won't miss anything if you've got notifications on. And don't forget, if you want to support me directly financially, I really do appreciate it, of course, if you donate, subscribe, or gift a sub on my website, xanderhal.com/live. Or donate, support me, whatever it is, through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy my merch to the Streamlabs link down below. It really does help a lot as I'm raising money for equipment for Quail content right now. And of course, I'm also, I gotta pay my bills, I gotta keep the lights on, I gotta keep a roof above my head and food in my belly. So I really do appreciate your direct support. But like I said, likes and comments are just as good and totally free. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.